I'm the fourth accountant, and today we're talking assets. If you have been exposed to the same media slop as me, you may have noticed there has been a lot of debate about wealth inequality, the cost of living, and get-rich-quick investments.
Still not convinced? Well, guess what? The Invigoron system is also a pyramid scheme.
You may have also noticed the word asset gets mentioned quite a lot. But what the fuck is an asset? Most of you watching will have a general understanding of what assets are. This understanding is not the same for everyone. For example, the UK government will view your home or any other properties you may own as an asset. This view might seem fair, but many financial advisors would argue that your home is actually not an asset. So who is right? Well, according to Investopedia, an asset is this. Okay, great. So what the fuck is a resource then? Yeah, let's not worry about that. Anyway, this definition is what most financial professionals will have in mind, and it's why many of them will argue that your home is not an asset. The reason they may have this view is because 1, it is expected most homeowners would not want to rent spare rooms, which provides future economic benefit, and 2, homeowners typically have to get approval from the government or the bank if they wish to modify or sublet their property. So, I guess some of us have got home ownership all wrong then, right? Well, like with many things, what an asset is simply a matter of perspective. Also, for simplicity, I'm just going to refer to future economic benefit as cash. To start with, if we circle back to the Investopedia definition, it implies an asset is something that has economic value already. It could also be argued that an asset must already have perceived value if someone else is willing to give the owner cash for it. But the Investopedia definition also means a resource cannot be an asset unless it is also owned and controlled.
That sounds ominous.
This would imply assets can only really exist if there are enforceable contractual frameworks governing ownership and control. This makes sense, but also illustrates why the concept of an asset is not as simple as it may first appear. Secondly, if we think about mortgage-based home ownership, I can tell you for free that the lender will not view itself as having any control over your home. The asset from the lender's perspective is the mortgage contract itself, with your home acting as collateral if you default on your mortgage repayments. This arrangement heavily implies that the homeowner, the clue being in the name, controls the property and will usually benefit from any increase in the property's value when they either renegotiate their mortgage or sell the property. Thirdly, if you simply ignore the Investopedia definition entirely, it is reasonable to argue that a home or any maintained building has value in use, as it provides basic security and comfort which contributes to mental well-being. This naturalist view of an asset is not so different to how many people might view gold or Bitcoin, for example. Gold and Bitcoin have many use cases. Typically, many simply view them as having economic value by virtue of their scarcity. The naturalist view is probably how I would be inclined to view an asset in most scenarios. What I mean by this is that I would view an asset as simply a limited resource that enables or incentivizes at least 2 non-related parties to execute a commercial contract. In very simple terms, you can interpret my view as follows. So, what is the fucking point of all of this then, if there's no definitive answer? Well, the point of this video, I hope, is to get you thinking more pragmatically and critically about generally accepted ideas and principles. Neither the government, the financial professionals, the mortgage lender, nor you have actually got the idea of assets wrong. We all just have different perspectives. So what the fuck is an asset then? Well, it depends on the context of the conversation or debate you might be having. If a financial professional tells you your home is not an asset, it is probably because they are helping you come up with a financial plan to control your income and expenditure. Mortgage repayments are an expense in the context of personal financial planning, and it can be argued that your home is not an asset, it's a financial burden instead. However, in the context of a debate about wealth inequality and social mobility, for example, for most, a mortgage provides greater financial security, social well-being, and potential economic upside, which is far more appealing than not owning a home at all.
We have moved into a new kind of economy where increasingly the work that you do is not really that important for determining how rich you are. Increasingly, the only thing that matters is how many assets your family has.